YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with an updated 2022 NFL mock draft as we approach week 8 of the college football season, week 7 of the NFL season. A lot of stock changes here as we update this. Players on the rise and, of course, falling a bit as well. Number of quarterbacks. Intriguing because it's considered a weaker quarterback class, but there are some getting some buzz, and they'll still go in the top portion of the NFL draft, just how it is. Not as many as last year, though, but excited to break this down. We'll update this from time to time. Constant NFL draft coverage in NFL draft season right now. In season, full NFL coverage. All kinds of content. Trade deadline approaching. We got you covered there. We got weekly picks, power rankings, more. Follow our Twitter for constant updates, talking during live games. Here's our Twitter. Constant updates here. A lot going on. And again, we'll be talking during live games. The Bills-Titans games tonight. We'll be talking during that. Here's our channel. See all that different content. Trade deadline video on the bottom left. Predicted the Ertz trade in that. Also have a lot of other candidates, predictions, landing spots, and more. More of those types of videos to come. Let's break down this mock. Full first round. I actually have Carson Strong going first. Definitely very early to tell, but a lot of buzz about Carson Strong. We heard going into the year the scouts liked him more than what the media was putting out about him. Strong arm, big body, can make all the throws. Kind of get Josh Allen feel there a little bit, and I've heard that elsewhere as well. I guess the question with him will be, a little bit with Zach Wilson. Can't really compare him to Zach Wilson on the field, but in terms of playing the weaker competition, how will he be against better competition? He did have a knee injury in high school too, so I guess that's something everyone will look at. But Lions could stick with Goff. Campbell hinting he's a little disappointed with Goff so far, a little bit kind of hinting towards that. That was on the Week 6 game. I don't think they're afraid to kind of get ready for the future and move on quarterback. I think Carson Strong's going to go pretty damn early. Could go first. A couple other quarterbacks could go first, getting a lot of buzz as well. Jags with pick 2, Kayvon Thibodeaux. Jags just got their first win this past weekend here against Dolphins. Kayvon Thibodeaux, who's right now is my favorite player in the draft. I think he's a sure thing here. There's actually not too many of those guys. We're locked to go top 5, top 10, whatever it may be. I mean, this guy's a lock to go towards the top. I'd be surprised if it was outside the top 3. I think he fits either defense as an edge rusher. Jags been disappointing in terms of the pass rush production. Josh Allen's very solid. Maybe find somebody that they're a little more comfortable with pairing with Josh Allen. I know Clavon Chason still has upside. Is this new staff really thrilled with how he looks, how he fits, perhaps? Again, could go Evan Neal, would depend on Cam Robinson. Do they extend him? He's playing on the franchise tag currently. Eagles, his picks from Miami, looking pretty good right now. I went Matt Corral, maybe a little bold here, but I really still think they're looking for a quarterback. There was rumors that they would have taken Zach Wilson or, of course, Trevor Lawrence if they had the opportunity last year. There was even rumors they could trade up for a guy like Zach Wilson if they had the opportunity, but they did not. So I still think they're looking. I think they were interested in Deshaun Watson. Sound like Watson, maybe rumors Watson didn't want to play there. Hurts has been, he can run, but he's been a little, inaccurate for sure. Could still get better, has some upside. But looking at Sirianni's offense right now, which people are criticizing, he wants to throw the ball a ton, obviously, and not run the ball, a ton at all, actually. Corral has experience there. He also has athleticism, throwing the run ability. It's been impressive, too, because he really improved, too, from early last year. So he could be a guy that still goes early here. The Eagles could grab him. They have a number of picks. Texans go George Karlaftis, the edge rusher from Purdue, who's been playing fantastic so far the first half of this season for Purdue. Seen him doubled and tripled plenty of times, too, so you see the impact, the presence he has. He's a good pass rusher, good stopping a run. I guess the only question with him is because all these young pass rushers that are kind of taking over, they're not just athletic, extremely athletic. Does Karlaftis have does he have that? Does he have that? But sure, he's athletic. He's got some athleticism there, but I think he's a Lovie Smith type of pass rusher. Physical, pass rusher, fits the defensive end spot in their 4-3 for sure. Texans been pretty disappointing, kind of expected in terms of their pass rush production there. Giants go Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett, Pittsburgh quarterback. No one would have thought this going into the season, even though he's been a well-known guy and had a pretty good career at Pittsburgh. But he is getting a ton of buzz. Just keep hearing things about, people within the league talking about him, everyone talking about him now. And might be one of the safer prospects. Strong. How will he be, against better competition? Corral, does he kind of fit NFL-style offenses? Pickett might be maybe the safest. Strong maybe with the most upside. And he looks good this year. Pittsburgh looks good. Pro-style quarterback, but also, he has that big playability. He has a little bit underrated in terms of athleticism, throwing on the run. But got that bbig play potential. The Giants, I know people want to believe in Daniel Jones, but, was it 60 turnovers, how many games, 32 games, whatever it may be, it just can't happen. It kind of continues to happen and kind of takes them out of games, and it's just, sure, he can how much better? He can get better, but how much better is he going to get still at this point? Really depends on what kind of staff is in there for the Giants. Gettleman's going to want to, he's probably going to pound the table to keep Daniel Jones maybe, but I feel like he'll be gone. Pickett, somewhat of a similar style, just more upside at this point. It's really time for the Giants to keep looking here. And they'll also have the Bears pick as well, so that kind of helps you be able to make this decision. But Pickett getting a ton of buzz. Even heard he has a very early, but could he be the first overall pick? Pretty crazy. Jets go Evan Neal, standout tackle from Alabama. Pair him with Mekhi Becton, and that'll be a great duo for a long time. That'll be a great pick. They also add Elijah Vera Tucker, last draft, fantastic guard, promising guard, a lot of upside. Zach Wilson's been sacked a ton this year so far. I know there's been some injuries in the offensive line. Talk about Becton, and I know not every sack has been on the offensive line. Wilson's got to get rid of the ball, but it'll definitely help. Keep the pressure, constant pressure off their prized possession in Zach Wilson and have these guys grow together. It makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, Evan Neal is a possibility to go first overall, so this would be a great pick. Patriots, this is based off of the current draft order going into week 7. Prediction, I don't think the Patriots will be picking here, but as of right now, they are. Somewhat recently trade Stephon Gilmore. Need to extend J.C. Jackson. Take Derek Stingley, who has been on everybody's radar since he was a true freshman. Fantastic corner. And I think they'll extend J.C. Jackson. Pair the two together. Looks pretty good. Eagles, another pick. Kyle Hamilton, they're in a position to take best player available, but it'll also help. Anthony Harrison only got a 1-year deal. I mean, they can bring him back, too, as well. Hamilton, good everywhere, really. He's a fantastic free safety in coverage. You see the range and the length, playmaking ability in coverage. You see him around the line of scrimmage making plays, even coming from deep downfield making plays, the line of scrimmage. Again, the range and the length, playmaking ability, those all stand out big time there. So Eagles would love to have him kind of start to look at the defense here. And once again, a pick from the Colts, Nkobe Dean from Georgia. Well, first off, the last updated mock I had, I think that it was the 3rd overall pick. I mocked it to the Colts because I thought if they're in position to have the 3rd overall pick, they would hold Wentz out, so they would retain their first pick. They would keep their first pick, I should say, because if Carson Wentz plays less than 75% of snaps, the Colts keep that. Right, the Colts just coming off a win, looking at their schedule, gets a little easier. They're going to be fighting, and I think the Eagles may have their pick. The Eagles may have their pick because Carson Wentz is going to keep playing unless he gets hurt. That is the question. So this time around, I gave it to the Eagles. Nkobe Dean, that Georgia defense is insane, and Nkobe Dean might be the most insane. We'll talk about Jordan Davis in a little bit, but of that group, so good. It's exactly what the Eagles need. I'm already kind of loving this fit here. It's really early, but I'm already kind of loving a fit and the idea of this pick because the Eagles, they haven't really been able to blitz at all, and I believe they want to blitz more. Jonathan Gannon, their defensive coordinator, coming from the Colts previously before that, coming from the Vikings, under Mike Zimmer, a lot of 3rd down blitzes, some creative ones too. I just don't think they have the pieces at linebacker to be able to do that. Nkobe Dean is a stud blitzer, but a stud linebacker in general, where the Eagles are pretty weak right now. One more actually might make the entire unit a lot better, with Singleton and Eric Wilson, maybe pair with those guys. I really think it can make the difference. So I really like this fit, can get things going on defense here. So Eagles coming away with a haul. The Jets, this pick is from the Jamal Adams trade from Seattle, of course. Ahmad Sauce Gardner, a corner from Cincinnati, who I like a lot. He's kind of creeping up on Stingley, in my opinion. I love the length, the playmaking ability, the ability to kind of get his head around, read the quarterback. Not too many college corners can do that. Different variety of coverages there. So And the Jets definitely need another corner there, and this defense could be special, and a Robert Saleh there. So I do like Ahmad Gardner here. Washington, I'd like to have a quarterback. We'll see how they handle it in the offseason. It'd just be too much of a reach at this point. The rest of the quarterbacks their stock is really falling. So I don't have another one going actually in this first round. Akem Akwanu from NC State, who's had a hell of a year. A tackle, a bully of a tackle. Some think he could play guard. I think he'd probably play tackle for Washington here, but kind of having that safety that he worst case, he's a pretty good guard. I think that kind of helps a bit too. So Washington goes that route. Another offensive lineman. Same category, except Kenyon Green actually played guard and played at a high level, played tackle this year, played at a pretty high level. So the Falcons could use that. I would think they would play him on the inside. And they've been allowing a lot of interior pressure. For Matt Ryan, been pressured a ton. A team that's probably looking for quarterback of the future as well. Just be too much of a reach here at 12. Dolphins, this pick is from San Francisco. And, of course, their original pick, which would be 3 right now, pretty valuable pick, is actually out of the Philadelphia Eagles. So that looks pretty tough at this early stage. Tyler Linderbaum, interior offensive lineman, can play center or guard. Dolphins definitely, they could use a left tackle if they already want to give up on Austin Jackson. He's struggled as well, but this kind of gives him help in there. Probably play center, but again, he could play guard at a pretty high level as well. Offensive line just hasn't been good. Starting to realize season goes on that the Dolphins may need more than we originally thought, but they go this route here, and there's a big question of Tua Tagovailoa. I don't think they would give up on him unless it was for, again, like a guy like Deshaun Watson, where it's a sure thing. We get a star quarterback. It's a lot better. They wouldn't give up on Tua drafting another guy here at 13. No way. I don't see it. No way, but it's too early for me to say for sure, but that's my thoughts. Broncos go Aiden Hutchinson, edge rush from Michigan, who's having an insane year. Actually, I guess the question here would he fit? You kind of get the feeling he's a 4-3 end. The Broncos are running 3-4, but you look kind of at his size, his weight, mainly his weight. It kind of feels like a 3-4 edge rusher. But then you look at the Broncos, Bradley Chubb. Everyone thought he was going to be a 4-3 guy, and the Broncos just want to get the best pass rushers in there. Von Miller going to be a free agent again. They could bring him back. Maybe slight injury concern there based on the past, and he's, again, going to be a free agent. They may be able to bring him back. And then Bradley Chubb is the injury concern. I think they could add another edge rusher. And, they need a quarterback who's just reaching at this point for the next guy. 3 already off the board. It's the only 3 I like at the top right now. Broncos go with the edge rusher from Michigan, who's having a crazy year. Panthers in a tricky spot, too. They could use a quarterback. They could be in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, perhaps. Don't want to reach for a quarterback here. You look at the offensive line's been pretty bad this year, and maybe it's a trade back spot. It's weird talking about trades at this point, but looking at value here, Darian Kennard, offensive lineman from Kentucky, it's a tackle. Another one of those guys where I could see playing guard, but probably sticks at tackle there, which the Panthers could use help actually at either. So get that much needed offensive line help. The Giants, this pick is from the Bears. Giants could use a upgrade at nose tackle. They lost Dalvin Tomlinson in free agency. Jordan Davis is a hell of a nose tackle. This guy is a freak. Especially for how big he is. He's pretty damn athletic. He's collapsing pockets, getting after the quarterback, stops the run. There's no question he's stopping the run at a high level. So Giants kind of complete once again. Their defensive line looking pretty damn good, looking close to elite at this point maybe because they got some other studs. Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams is absolute stud. Around that, it looks pretty damn good there. And nose tackles typically don't go that high, unless they're sure things and there's a lot to their game, like more because most time they just stop the run. Then you got guys that can collapse pockets. On top of that. And for their size, they're pretty freaky athletes. You look at a guy like Vita Vea, what he's doing right now and where he was drafted. So, I think Davis would go plenty high and up there where he should go, really. So, next, Browns. Jamison Williams, a Bama receiver, is one to watch. Wasn't really one on everyone's radar going into the season. People thought Mechie, and Mechie's pretty damn solid too. But people thought he was sure thing as Bama's top receiver. Jamison Williams has been very, very good. Really all over the field. You're talking about tracking the ball downfield in the red zone, underneath. Routes look real crisp. Tracking ability, talked about that, looks really good. Just another one of those Alabama receivers. I see a little bit, a mixture of different receivers, even looking away from Alabama receivers. I mean, a little bit, I'm going to compare him to CeeDee Lamb, but a little, because I love me some CeeDee Lamb, and he's ridiculous, but A little bit of that I kind of see in there, maybe with like a Jerry Jeudy, kind of a mixture there. I really like what I see from him. The Browns, OBJ doesn't seem the same, but still kind of coming back from the injuries. Jarvis Landry, still very solid, but had an injury this year, and he is getting up there in age. And they got, Donovan Peoples-Jones solid, Higgins is solid, but they could use that number one, a reliable number one here. So I like, it could be, it could be Burks. It could be one of the Ohio State receivers. There's a number of receivers kind of popping up on everyone's radar now. I like Jamison Williams, though. Chiefs go DeMarvin Leal, defensive lineman from Texas A&M. Yeah, the question is, how will the Chiefs feel about playing him at defensive end? I think they would play him at both. I think they use him at defensive end at times and use him inside at times, perhaps as well, and because he can get interior pressure and off the edge, but he plays more of a 3-4 end role for Texas A&M. But it's kind of type of guys the Chiefs really like, out there. So that, I guess, will be the question with him. He goes to a 3-4 team, he'll play 3-4, and if he goes to a 4-3 team, I think we'll see a bit of moving around. 3 technique, perhaps. Could he play defensive end? There's certain teams that want the physical, more the physical guy on one side. Chiefs could be one, but has that worked out from the past? But he's a phenomenal talent, though. Vikings, Andrew Booth, cornerback from Clemson. A lot of upside there. Good athlete here and familiar with man coverage, too, which is not I guess familiarity is not uncommon, but very good play in man coverage is uncommon in college football. So the Vikings will like that. Patrick Peterson, who just got hurt this past week, has been good for them. Only a 1-year deal. The other couple guys have been a little bit disappointing there, so they could definitely use another corner for the future. Steelers, a team that could use a quarterback, team that could use an offensive line. I think it'd be a reach at this point. They could actually use another corner. It's been said that Joe Hayden actually said it. We'll see what actually happens, but he may be testing the market this free agency. And even on top of that, they can use another one. Darion Kendrick from Georgia, formerly from Clemson, is pretty damn solid, very tight in coverage, can be a playmaker as well. Titans, Treylon Burks, who very well could be the first receiver taken. The guy of that size with that length and that athleticism, pretty rare. That big playability, pretty rare. Kind of like another Julio Jones. You don't want to compare him to Julio Jones, but another style player that the Titans want. But now you start to, how long is Julio Jones going to last? He has that injury concern. We got A.J. Brown been hurt as well. So, and they got really no depth. So they could use a guy like Burks here from Arkansas. It was an interesting prospect. Played Georgia, didn't really get much separation, but really nobody's getting separation against Georgia here. So Garrett Wilson from Ohio State goes next to Saints. Saints will be in the market for a quarterback, perhaps. Still to be determined on Jameis Winston. I just don't know if I see Sean Payton dealing with him for another year. Could be in the market for a quarterback. Who knows? Maybe they go Ian Book or something like that. But they could look for another receiver as well. They may not. I think it's a pretty complete team, actually, so it's pretty tough to – it'll really depend on what they do before the draft in the offseason. But Garrett Wilson, a lot of upside there from Ohio State. They go that route there to add another playmaker, maybe with a healthy Michael Thomas. That would probably play a part, too. If Michael Thomas fully healthy going in next year, we maybe don't need a receiver. Maybe dip their toes in the second round there, maybe the third round, and think about it then. Raiders, Henry To'o originally from Tennessee, now from Alabama, inside linebacker. Denzel Perriman's been pretty damn good for the Raiders this year, but will they keep him? Will he stick around looking for that true inside linebacker? Raiders are another team, I don't know if they have that many glaring needs at this moment. The offensive line needs to be better, but it's kind of they're working with some guys right now. No, I don't know if anybody's worth the pick right here at 23 in that position anyways. So they could go this route. I think I had this last time. Cowboys taking Brandon Smith, another Penn State linebacker. Parsons been using mainly off the edge. He's been used by the Cowboys mainly off the edge. For them, which we thought they move him around a bit, but they put him off the edge. Jalen Smith they cut. They didn't really want to cut Jalen Smith. They were just okay cutting him. And why I say that, because they originally asked him to kind of waive his guarantees for next year, injury guarantees. And since he didn't, they cut him. They were okay with it. They're fine with it. But they did want him to stick around for now. And so he's gone. Vander Esch, solid linebacker, has some injury concern. And then Keanu Neal, who has injury concern. It's only a 1-year deal. They definitely can use another off-the-ball linebacker. Brandon Smith, really all over the place for Penn State defense this year. So good in coverage, good around the line of scrimmage. So I think the Cowboys could benefit from adding another Penn State linebacker here. Next group of picks, Chargers go David Bell, receiver of Purdue, is fantastic. I won a game against Iowa last week, actually, too. Big playability. I think This might be the safest receiver in the class. I think he's a do-it-all guy. Like, he's so good tracking the ball downfield, great hands, great after the catch, good underneath, just kind of getting open in the middle of the field, whether it's along the sideline as well, good in the red zone. It's Rondale Moore, the way he's playing. He's got more to his game, just barely into his NFL career than he did at Purdue. I think teams will like that. And David Bell is more of a wide receiver, kind of get more of that safer feel that he can play receiver. The Chargers, Mike Williams, a free agent. The way he's playing this year, they probably bring him back, but we'll see. But they actually need another guy, in my opinion. There's kind of a lack of separation over the middle of the field. They need a do-it-all guy. Mike Williams goes downfield. He can go up and catch the ball. Keenan Allen, I guess another do-it-all guy. He's been a little underwhelming this year, but they can use another one of those guys that can just get open, make big plays. So I like David Bell for them there. He's definitely on the rise. Bengals, Jackson Kirkland, offensive tackle from Washington, athletic offensive tackle. Bengals offensive line's been so far much improved, actually. Riley Reef would be a free agent. I think they'll bring him back possibly, but they'll probably be out, in the market to look out for a future tackle here. Bucks, Kyer Elam from Florida, this guy that's got the physicality, the length, the traits really that you look for. So he has a tremendous upside. I think he's be like a steal at this point. He just ended up sliding through. Buccaneers, I should say. They been mainly because of injuries, been not performing at a high level at the cornerback position. But, they could afford to do this here. They're pretty complete elsewhere. So, Lions get this pick from the Rams in the Jared Goff trade. Drake London, who's a receiver that kind of came in out of nowhere heading into this year. Lengthy receiver on the outside. Some of the receivers with length this year should go a little earlier. So, the Lions could use that guy there for, who I had them taking a new quarterback, Carson Strong. Bills, probably the most complete team in football, in my opinion. Maybe the Buccaneers if healthy, but so not a lot of glaring needs at all. And I'm sure there will be a bigger need when we get there. Maybe another corner. Didn't love the ones for this pick. Devin Lloyd's been fantastic for that Utah defense, all over the place as a linebacker there. And, they have Tremaine Edmonds. They have Matt Milano. Matt Milano's missed some time here and there. They could benefit by grabbing another one here. Packers go Drake Jackson, edge rusher from USC. I think he fits their 3-4. Preston Smith probably gone after this year's the Darius Smith injury this year. They like to have 3 right there. So they grab another one here. And some of their needs seem like they could use an offensive lineman because it's been a little beat up, but some of their needs kind of going away a little bit. Looks like the Campbell pickup, inside linebacker, looks pretty good. Once again, I think they can benefit from having another number 1 receiver with Devontae Adams. That team would be damn scary, but they're kind of ignoring that. I don't know if they believe in 2 number 1s. There's teams that will, the way they value it, they'll be like, we need a number 1, we need a number 2, and then other guys are depth guys. To me, I know it's perfect world type of situation, but perfect world, I'd like to have 2 number 1s out there at all times, and especially with Aaron Rodgers. But, yeah, who knows? Rodgers could be gone after this year. We'll see what happens when they grab Jackson. Ravens take Jordan Battle, safety from Alabama. Deshaun Elliott came back this past week, was phenomenal, a big upgrade once again when they got him back. And they have Chuck Clark, who does pretty much everything, literally. So they could benefit from having another safety to help in coverage, perhaps. Because that's something that's kind of feel like lacking at sometimes. So adding a guy like Jordan Battle. They could look edge rusher here because I don't think Justin Houston will be back. Maybe McPhee won't be back either. Jason Odafe away, pretty damn promising, to say the least, but could pair somebody with him. And then the Cardinals go Myjai Sanders, the edge rusher from Cincinnati. Right now, it doesn't really feel like the Cardinals could really need an edge rusher, but Chandler Jones going to be a free agent. They very well can bring him back. But we'll see. Not another team out, not a whole lot of needs. Could use another corner. I just like the value of Sanders a little bit more there for the Cardinals. And again, this is based off the current order. If anybody was wondering, there's people that come here and worry about the order. Just worry about the prospects, where their stock is heading, who they fit with. Get an idea maybe what the team's needs can be. But we're going to learn a lot more as season goes on here, of course. So always enjoy doing these. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. We're always talking with you on Twitter about anything, answering questions, talking during live games, college football, NFL, constant updates on the NFL, trade deadline approaching. We always got rumors on there, talking there. We always got the content on here on the channel. So like, subscribe, turn notifications on, any link you're looking for, comments, description section, both. But that will do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.